everyone. Thank you again for joining, as always. Community Elder here, Robert Tate. Got some of my mind I want to unpack and share with you. Found it to be interesting. Poem I learned some time ago when I was a younger guy. Didn't really understand the significance of it, but as I continue to grow, mature, and transition, as it pertains to experiencing life in itself, I share a snippet of it with you because I thought it was interesting. There are some things in life that I cannot change, but one thing I must do is take it like a man. That was the beginning of it. And when I think about it, it's very significant. There are some things in life that I cannot change, but one thing I must do is take it like a man. And in this moment, you can insert women into it if you choose, because there are situations that occur and that happen in our lives that we cannot change. We could have affected them in the beginning stages, but sometimes we make decisions that can be detrimental to our lives, to our health, to our family status, to our well-being, to our jobs. And I think it's quite pivotal that we recognize the importance of making decisions, right? The importance of making decisions. Decision making is very critical in our everyday walk of life, and dependent upon what we do with the decision can affect and shape the remainder of our lives. Decisions. Those things that come up sometimes that we can't explain and that we don't understand, and we just have to pull the trigger. Mama died. Who's going to step up and make the decisions on the burial process? House goes into foreclosure. Who's going to step up and make the determining decision as in the directives of where the family should go and where the family will be, if we'll be better off? Decisions are quite pivotal in everything that we do. The decision of who to marry, the decision of who to date, the decision of what church to go to, the decision of what broadcast to tune into. Who do you lend your ear to? When you really look at it, you have tons of decisions. Do we have children? Do we not have children? Do we buy this house? Do we build a house? Do we rent? Decisions are all around us. And based off where our mental state is, it can truly affect and shape our lives, but also those around us. Collateral damage is a real thing when you make incorrect decisions, but it also can be a positive when we make the right decisions. But it's all in having the mind clear and being concise when we go to sit down to make these decisions. And then you consider the ultimate decision maker. When Jesus is sitting and he is praying to his Father to let this bitter cup pass from me, weeping, frustrated. Can you see him? Crying so profusely that he starts to shed blood during his tears. Like, can you see this? The weakness of the moment, knowing that Calvary is right around the corner. And he asks the question to let this bitter cup pass from me. Decisions. If I don't make this decision, I won't be able to save the world. I won't be able to provide salvation to all of these people. But if I do make this decision, I have the opportunity to save many by giving up myself. Decisions. I suggested to you on this morning that the decision was made in the beginning when Jesus went to be tempted by the enemy. He made the decision to go and to be tempted, which leads us to this pivotal moment. So if he doesn't make the initial decision, he cannot make the masterful decision at the end, which changes the lives of millions of people right now. Decisions, y'all. I'm talking about decisions. These things that shape our lives have to be made, and we have to stand up to the plate and say yay or nay and make them. And that's what he did. The decision to call Peter a rock and say, upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. knowing that in making the decision, this same man would deny him. But also knowing that on the day of Pentecost, after he became filled with the Holy Ghost, he would preach one of the greatest sermons known to man, causing thousands to come into the faith. Decisions. Taking Judas as one of his disciples because he knew he had to be betrayed if he was going to be led to a cross in itself. Decisions. Decisions. Selecting Matthew, who some call Levi, to be one of the followers, knowing that he would be shunned and talked about for dining with him because tax collectors were hated during this time because most times they cheated and robbed the people. Decisions. The decision to go back home, to be shunned by his own brothers and sisters and have the question pop up, can anything good come from Nazareth? Decisions. To say, in spite of all of this, I'm going to lay down my life for a people who will not believe me, nor accept me, nor esteem me. Decisions. Because in doing so, they will have an opportunity to come into salvation, to come into my body. The same body that they rejected, they had an opportunity to come into it after the fact. Decisions. Decisions. Some of us have decisions looming large right now. And we're lining everything on the table. We're putting all the cards on the table, as they say, trying to decipher what to do next. And he never promised that it will be easy. But the decision still has to be made. Do you look an individual in the eye? Do you tell them the truth, or do you continue to pretend? Do you admit to your wrongs? Decisions. And that's something interesting to think about. Because we all have them right now staring us in the face. Decisions. The virus is still active. Do you go out? Do you stay in? Are you afraid to go to work? Are you afraid to send your kids to school? Are you afraid to go to the shopping places, so you decide to place orders online? And once the package gets there, you're afraid to bring it into the house. Decisions. We all have decisions that we have to make, guys. And it can be difficult because sometimes our decisions, they all reside around that word fear. And my mentor coined it quite brilliantly when he described fear to me. He said, with fear, man, you only have two options. He said, you can forget everything and run, or you can face everything and rise. Even though it looks bleak, even though it looks difficult, even though the task seems monumental, we choose this day to face everything and rise. Life may never look life may never look the same again. But the decision still has to be made, because in making the decision now, you can save someone time in the future. And we recognize time is a resource that we cannot duplicate, nor imitate, nor create again. Time is something you cannot get back. So the decision that you make today can free somebody from pain and suffering on down the line. So ladies, if you need to remove yourself from a relationship, make the decision. Fellas, if you need to remove yourself from a relationship, make the decision. If you're lost and you have no idea what to do next, make a decision on what you would do this day. Decisions. If you know you've been birthed with the gift of entrepreneurship, make a decision today to do something different with your life. If you're at a church home and you're getting nothing out of it, if you're not getting fed, if you're not growing, if you're not maturing, make a decision. God. Decisions. Decisions that we have to make. Sometimes they are difficult, but most times they are necessary decisions. Whew. Decisions. The songwriter said, my sin was strong, but Jesus is stronger. My shame was great, but Jesus is greater. I believe that Jesus is greater than anything. And in spite of whatever we're going through, he can help us get through it. I'm foolish enough to believe it. And as Paul said, I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I truly believe that he can get us through anything. Regardless of what your beliefs is, whoever you believe in, grab hold to your beliefs and walk it and believe it and speak it over your life. But most importantly, execute what you believe in and stand on it, whatever that may be. Stand on it and believe in it. No matter who you are, no matter what your background is, no matter what your sexual preference, stand on what you believe in and walk it, if that's what you believe in. I choose to believe that Jesus is greater than anything. And he can pull us out of anything. As always, thank you for tuning in. I love you. Be blessed, my friends. Until next time, peace.